As a very large island in the Indian Ocean, and in land area more than twice the size of Great Britain, Madagascar is a natural landfall for seafarers sailing east from Africa or west from Indonesia. The ethnic makeup of the island's population, known as the Malagasy, is as much Indonesian as African. The island is first known to the Europeans after being sighted in the 1500s by a Portuguese ship on the new route to India, but it is not until a century later that much outside attention is paid to the place. As a very large island in the Indian Ocean, and in land area more than twice the size of Great Britain, Madagascar is a natural landfall for seafarers sailing east.
Government of Madagascar. Madagascar is a multi-party republic. The president serves as head of state and government and is assisted by a prime minister. The legislature consists of a 150-member National Assembly and a 90-member Senate. The judicial system is headed by a Supreme Court and a High Constitutional Court. The Third Republic received its first expression of popular support and legitimacy on August 19, 1992, when the constitutional framework constructed by the National Conference was approved by more than 75% of those voting in a popular referendum. The Constitution took effect.
Traditionally, the Malagasy eat a large amount of rice with a small amount of meat and vegetables. Zebu, or beefsteak, are most commonly served with the green peppercorn sauce. On the coast, seafood naturally predominates, including all manners of fish, as well as lobster and shellfish. Here are some traditional dishes. Romazava, a beef stew. Varenga, fried slivers of beef. Smalona, stuffed eels. Lasari, a colorful chutney usually made from lemon, mango, or papaya. It can also be made with tomatoes, peanuts, or vegetables. Kimo, a curried ground beef which is popular in the city of Majunga. Malagasy cuisine is not usually hot and spicy, but a chili relish called sake serves as a hot sauce to liven up any dish.
More than 9/10 of the population is Malagasy, which is divided into about 20 ethnic groups. The largest, most dominant of the group is the Merina people, who are scattered throughout the island. The name Merina is said to mean elevated people, deriving from the fact that they lived in the plateau. The second largest group is the Betsimi Saraka, the inseparable multitude, who live generally in the east. The third most numerous group is the Betsi Leo, the invincible multitude, who inhabit the plateau around Fianarotso. More than 9/10 of the population.
Although exact figures on religious affiliations do not exist, it is estimated that approximately 55% of the total population adhere to traditional beliefs and 40% are Christian, but evenly divided between Roman Catholics and Protestants, the remaining 5% being Muslim. All the Malagasy peoples have traditionally accepted the existence of a supreme god, known commonly as Zanahari, creator, or Andriamanitra, sweet or fragrant lord. The majority of locals confess the ancient religion, which is worshipping the deceased ancestors. The burial tomb, a prominent part of the island landscape in all religions, is a primary link between the living and the dead among the Malagasy. It is built.
The Malagasy language of Malayo-Polynesian origin is generally spoken throughout the island. The official languages of Madagascar are Malagasy and French. Madagascar is a francophone country, which means a French-speaking country, and French is spoken among the educated population of this former French colony, including the second language speakers. There are more speakers of Malagasy than French in the Madagascar. No official languages were recorded in the Constitution of 1992. Instead, Malagasy was named the national language. In the Constitution of
Miaravatsika rehetra, raha tsy feraferana konjely anakako avy Madagascar, dia 20 taona, sady mianatra multimédia no miasa amina orinasa mpamokatra horonan-tsary documentaire, dia aty amin'ny
Education in Madagascar started in the early 1600s, when the French created public schools that were separated into two parts. Now the education is divided into three parts. There is primary education for kids ages 6 to 11, secondary education for kids ages 12 to 15, and senior education for kids ages 16 to 18. By law, kids in Madagascar are only required to go to school until they're 14. When they finish their secondary education, as long as they completed 53 classes, they get a certificate. In secondary schools, they do learn math, natural science, religion, civics, and the natural language of Madagascar called Malagasy. Typically, the only kids who get their senior education are rich, and they would get a diploma after they finish. While there are universities in Madagascar, the kids have to go through senior year and pass a test to get in. The number of kids who go to school in Madagascar has increased over time.
Discrimination based on gender is forbidden by the Constitution of Madagascar. However, the Organization for Economic and Cooperation in Development, OECD, notes that there are still reports of discrimination in inheritance law. The OECD has rated the degree of gender discrimination as medium on the Social Institution and Gender Index. Women legally have equal ownership rights, although in locations along the east coast of Madagascar, they may be unable to own land. They are allowed to own their own businesses and do not require permission from their husbands to acquire land. Though civil liberties are generally well respected, however, in cases of spousal abuse, women must report the crime themselves in order for the police to act. Although calling the police is rare, women have a traditional right known as bisadaka, also known as withdrawal, that allows them to leave their husbands and live with their families.